Hello and welcome to week 1 of Chaostober. If you haven't seen my Chaostober TBR video, I suggest that you go watch that first because that will explain kind of what I'm doing throughout Chaostober, what it is, what books I'm hoping to read. So definitely go watch that one first and then come back and watch week 1 and how it went. My goal for Chaostober is to finish all of my reading goals. I have 5 of them left, and I'm going to be using a spinner wheel to decide which goal I read for first. So I have 5 of my reading goals left for 2025 that I want to finish, and I thought it would be really chaotic and fun to try to finish all of my reading goals 2 months early by finishing them in October, or at least getting as far as I possibly can by just reading a ton in October for my reading goals. So I am reading only books that fit my reading goals and any book club books from my friends' book clubs, just to kind of focus as hard as I can on my Chaostober goals without ignoring my book clubs, because I do enjoy them. So I am going to slot in a video from last night that I posted because before bed I wanted to do my first spin to see what I was going to be reading. So I'll go ahead and put that video in here and you can watch and see what I picked up. Hello. I have to talk quietly because it's 10:30 at night and my husband is sleeping in the other room, but I wanted to spin this because it's 10:30 p.m. on the 30th of September. My cat's playing, so if you hear noise, he's over there playing. But I just finished my final September book, and I really wanted to know what I'm going to be reading tomorrow, probably. I don't know if I'll read anything tonight. So I have all of my goals here, and I'm ready to spin and see what goal we're choosing. Hopefully there's no glare. I have a lot of lights on at different angles trying to get not terrible lighting. So I have 5 goals. Here they are. Been reading a book in the Big Fantasy series, reading a mass market paperback fantasy book, finishing a series, reading a classic, or reading a new to me author that I own multiple books by. So we're going to spin, and then I'll take you over to the shelf and we'll pick a book. I don't know what I'm hoping for. Okay, well this one, I don't actually need to take you over to my shelf because I only have one book that is going to be finishing a series. I'm actually really happy I got this goal. Let me go grab it. I only need to read one book to finish off a series, and that's Demon by Matt Weslowski. If I focus, I can read this all tomorrow. First day of the readathon, knock out a book, knock out an entire goal. That would be so exciting. So I'm really glad I got this one. The only hard thing about this one is that I can't get it in ebook form. So actually what I might do is I might take off the finish a series goal, spin again, and find something I can get on ebook or audiobook so I can read in bed before I go to sleep. Okay, so now the spinner wheel looks so much better because there's not that awkward 5th pie slice. So let's see what I get, and I think everything else I'll have an option for an ebook or audiobook. Perfect. I will go grab this book as well because I only have one fantasy series that I'm working on currently. So I'm working on reading The Deathgate Cycle by Margaret Weiss and Tracy Hickman. I can get these on ebook from Libby, and I have this one physically, obviously. I don't think they're available on audiobook. I'm kind of glad I got the 2 goals that have the least choice within them, just so I'm not dreading picking these books up because it's not like I can change this out for anything. This is the fantasy series I'm reading. I'll start this one in bed tonight because technically in Danielle's time, Chaostober started, even though there's still an hour and 20 minutes of September for me, but I'm going to start in Eastern time because chaos. So I'm going to start this night. Tomorrow, let's make a soft goal, a chaotic goal with everything else I need to do. Let's try to finish this tomorrow and knock out a goal and knock out a book. First time. That would be exciting. First day. Let's do it. And I'll start this. This could also be an easy DNF because I said in my TBR, if I don't love this, I'm putting down the series because I had some major problems with the first book and I'm only going to continue if this book is like really good. So I could knock out 2 books in like a day if this goes poorly. I'm not rooting for this to go poorly. I'm going to give it a fair try, but it'd be kind of cool if it happened. So it is about 1 p.m. on October 1st, and I'm making really good progress. So last night, I read 7% of this on my phone before bed. I read about a chapter. I can't fully make up my mind yet, but I will say I'm not wowed so far by what I'm reading in this book. I think it follows a lot of the same things that I've read in these authors' other books where the characters feel like they have one primary characteristic and everything just kind of flows from that and they don't seem to have like a lot of depth. I've read some reviews on this book specifically and so many people say this one is terrible and all the other ones are good. And because I gave the first book like a 3 stars and didn't think it was that great, I'm going to give it a little more time, but I will be probably putting this down if like another chapter doesn't hook me in, because I just don't know if Margaret Weiss and Tracy Hickman are the writers for me because of how they write characters and plot. I think their worlds are really interesting and their fantasy, like lore and creatures and stuff like that is really good. But just the writing itself, I think is like terrible. Like to give you an example, there's like these 2 sisters in here and one is described as being really like smart. And so the clothes she wears are very like prim and proper and modest and high collars and long sleeves and long dresses. And then there's, and she's considered like the ugly one. And then there's the pretty sister who like, it says all of her beauty, her sister's beauty got passed on to her. And she's very like slutty in the way she dresses. Like she's just lounging around in her room in barely anything. And her sister comes in and is like, what if the servants come in and see you like this? And it's just very like, there's a right way to be a woman. And if you're ugly, you don't care about the way you look and are just like smart women can't be pretty. And pretty women are ditzy and slutty. And it's just like icky to read about. I don't like the way they write female characters at all. It was one of the biggest problems I had with the first book in this series. And so just that kind of stuff, I'm like, I don't want to read it. It's terrible. Like, especially because this is a female author. Margaret Weiss is like a female author and she writes a female character so badly. I don't understand it. So probably going to be DNFing this one, but I'm going to give it like 1 more chapter just to see. And then in good news, a book I'm loving, Demon by Matt Wesolowski. I have already read like 40% of this. I've read 2 of the 6 episodes that are in the podcast in this book. It's about these 2 boys who terrorized a Scottish village when they were in their teens, and they get blamed, maybe rightly so, maybe not rightly so, for the murder of a disabled boy. in the village, and also a couple other terrible things that happen. There's like rumors that this witch used to haunt this land, and that maybe there is like some sort of like demon presence or spirit that is causing terrible things to happen. Some people think it's that. Some people think it was just the boys being evil, and it's trying to like untangle that mystery. I'm loving this. I'm trying to read it all today, which I think I stand a good shot at because I don't have anything going on this evening. So this has just been, you know, a couple hours of reading has gotten me this far. So I should be able to finish it today. I do have to do some editing and go shopping and do a little workout. So I may either just do some YouTube and not worry about an audiobook, and then maybe try to start an audiobook tomorrow. I'm not really sure what I'm going to do, but I want to knock out this book today and then knock out that first goal, because the series goal has been one I've been really focused on, and knocking it out would just feel really good. So I'm going to really focus on this. I'm going to go have some lunch and then do all the other things that need to happen. It's a lovely, like, rainy day. It's kind of the first set of rainy days that we're going to be having in the Pacific Northwest. At some point, the sun is going to leave and like not come back for 5 months. But right now I'm so happy to have some rain. I'm tired of the heat. I'm in leggings and a sweatshirt, and I'm just living my best life, being like wrapped up on the blanket while the windows are open, and I can like smell the rain, and it's so lovely. I think I'm going to have like a hot coffee later today, which I haven't had in a long time. So I'm just living the dream here, and hopefully this rainy weather will help me read lots. I am going to be working tomorrow, which will cut down on my reading time a little bit, because normally Thursdays are a day I just get to do audiobooks and clean the house. But I will be working, so I'll probably be reading a little bit less. But we're still making good progress today. So I'm hopeful that we're going to be spinning again tonight to pick out another book to read. My husband is gone for dinner tonight, and so I'm going to be eating a girl dinner. My sister and I used to eat a lot out of college. This delicious autumnal harvest pasta sauce with some noodles, Parmesan. I think we also have some chicken thighs in the fridge that I'll cut up with it. And then I got pumpkin blondie brownies, which I've never had before but sound amazing, and some spiced cider. It's going to be so good. I also had to stock up on some essentials. These dark chocolate peanut butter cups are my favorite snack of all time, as well as dried apricots, which I haven't had for a while. I was obsessed with them for a little bit and then kind of stopped getting them. And I saw them today and was like, ooh, yes, please. And then something new to try for breakfast sometime this week. I'm here with an update on my books. I am going to DNF this one. I got to 10%. I gave it the old college try, like 35, 40 pages. And I just really don't like how Weiss and Hickman handle characters and plot. Even the world building itself is so excessive at sometimes. Like, they'll have, like, they'll say humans tell time by this, and elves tell time by this, and the dwarves tell times by this, and it's like, it doesn't matter to the plot, so you're just constantly being bogged down with information that doesn't matter, and I find it frustrating that the authors aren't differentiating what's important and what's not important for us as the reader. So, and then all the stuff with the characters that were bothering me was still bothering me. I just don't think that these authors are the authors for me. I'm sorry if you love them. I know so many people do because they're kind of classic fantasy writers, but I really think there's so much better fantasy out there than these. And then Demon, I'm absolutely loving. I have 90 pages left. I don't think I'll be able to finish it tonight just because I don't have that much time left before I need to be like asleep because I have to get up at 6 tomorrow. So I won't finish it tonight, but I will definitely finish it tomorrow, probably while nannying, or if not in the evening. loving it. It's gonna be 5 stars. I'm like, it's so good. It's probably like my favorite one out of the series so far. It's so good. It has a creepiness factor that's like leveled up from some of the other books in the series. It's very creepy, it's very dark, and I'm just loving it so much. But because I might finish this at work tomorrow, I want to bring another book to work with me so that I have a second option. I also need something I can use as an ebook or an audiobook before bed. Because this was my big fantasy series that I was trying to read for that goal, I need to leave that goal on the wheel, but I'm taking the goal and I'm lowering it to now a fantasy trilogy just because I'm not going to force myself to try to read like an 8-book fantasy series within 2 months or 3 months. So I'm going to be lowering it down to a trilogy. I have a bunch of trilogies on my shelves that I could pick from and read. So that will work out fine. And just when that goal comes up again, I'll just pick a book that I think I could want to read the whole trilogy for. Okay, here we go. I'm good for anything. We'll just see what we get. Got lots of options. 20 something books to choose from still, so let's see. Oh, perfect. Mass market fantasy. I will definitely be reading a lot of mass market fantasies throughout the month because of the goal about reading new to me authors that I own multiple books by. I own a lot of those in mass market paperback fantasies. So I'm going to take you over to the shelves and we're going to look at what our options are and pick out what we want to try. Okay, the lighting is a lot worse over here, but I'm going to take off these books because these were the other ones in the Dragon Gate cycle that I'm not going to be reading. And then when I decide what trilogy I'm going to be aiming to read, I'll add those books up here. But let's look at our mass market paperback fantasy. This one is technically a fantasy because it's like Fairy Tales of Oscar Wilde, but I think I'm going to save that for when I get the classic prompt. So this one I've technically already started. This is part of a duology. This one's not fantasy. This one is like, I think more sci-fi than fantasy. So I'll save that for a different prompt. So I'm thinking this one, I have started this one as well. This one I have on audiobook, so it might be nice to like try that one on audio. I might have this one on audio as well. This one could be an easy DNF because I just don't know anything about this author, and classic fantasy has not been working the best for me lately, as you've seen maybe throughout the year. And this was written in 1982, so it's definitely one of the oldest ones. So I'm worried about this one and the Sword of Shannara because I don't know if I'm gonna like them. So I have this one on audio, so I might like try to do this one on audio a bit because I have started it. I'm like 40 pages into it. This one I'm much shorter. It's like only a chapter, but this one is one that when I started it in May, I really wanted to like read more of it. So I think I want to go for this one. This is about a like cartographer in a fantasy world, and I really liked the opening chapter. I am like 12 pages in, so I think I'm gonna go with this one for my next read. And then over here, I'm gonna keep a stack of books as I like finish them throughout the month, and we're gonna see like how high we can get this stack of books that I'm getting rid of on my shelves, whether I read them or DNF them or just decide I don't want to read them. We'll put them all here and see how tall this stack gets. Hello, I'm back with an update. It has been a while since I've updated this vlog. I started off the week so well with vlogging, and it's fallen off a little bit, but we're gonna get back to it. I finished this on Tuesday, and I didn't update you yet, but I absolutely flew through this. I finished it right after work on Tuesday, and I absolutely loved this. I thought this was a great ending to the series. It was kind of the darkest of all the mysteries that the podcast looked into in the story, and it had a very good reason for this being the last one, I think. And I just really liked it. I think this series touches on so many interesting topics in a way that's not black and white. It leaves a lot of room for gray area because life is so gray. And the whole idea of the podcast is 6 stories. So the podcaster interviews 6 people to try to get 6 different perspectives of what happened. And in this one, it's the 6 points of view that we get, the perspectives of what happened in this terrible crime. It just goes to show how gray something truly can be and how it can't be black and white because humans are not black and white. And I really love this series. I'm sad it's over, but I did buy off of Pango. He has a new book called Don't Tell Mom or Don't Call Mom or something like that. And I ordered it on Pango, and I'm very excited to get it. And I'll probably read it and love it. I'm hoping that something that's not part of the 6-story series will still be just as good as this, because Matt Wesolowski writes a voice of a character so well. In the podcast, it goes back and forth between the person he's interviewing and himself, Scott King. And I think that Matt Wesolowski writes voice really well. The voices feel very distinct in the different episodes as you're getting their point of view and they're talking and telling what happens. It feels very distinct, and I just loved it. It was 5 stars. I think most of the series was 5 stars. I think the third one, Changeling, was probably my least favorite, but it's just so good. These are popcorn reads that make me think when I'm reading them, and then I put them down and I just have a good time with it. So then my previous spin that I had spun on Tuesday or Monday night, I guess, was to pick up a mass market fantasy. So I picked up Flesh and Spirit. This works for mass market paperback fantasy and for an author that I own multiple books by that I hadn't read yet, because this is a duology and I own both books in the duology. I'm 84 pages into this. I read a chunk last night and I'm really enjoying it. I think this is really well written fantasy. There is a big world that we're learning about, and I'm not necessarily getting all the people, places, motivations. There's a war. There's people contesting the throne. I'm not following all of that, but I'm hoping that I don't need to, because it's just, sometimes they just throw a lot of stuff on you all at once, and it's hard to truly take anything in, which I think is just characteristic of older fantasy. I think authors have learned how to do that better. But 80 pages in, almost 20% of the way through, this is just under 500 pages. And we have this character whose name is Valen. He's very injured from an attack, and his supposed friend basically robs him of everything and leaves him with nothing except a book, and he has an arrow wound and a wound in his back, and he's dying, but he has this book that the person who is looting him is this is worthless, but Valen knows it's not actually. And it turns out that it's a Cartamandua map. This is the Cartamandua duology. So the Cartamandua maps, we're learning more about them as we go on, but basically they're these books that these magical families that have to be purebred to maintain their magic. So magic users can only marry magic users and stuff like that. And they can like use these maps to do magic. I think they also have some other magic abilities. Maybe we're still learning a lot about that. But basically this man who we find out is a magic user, he's injured and basically left for dead. Well, some monks come by and rescue him, take him to the monastery, and there he's like, well, if I'm like anonymous, I can kind of hide out here for a while, pretend I want to devote my life to the service of the god that the monastery worships, and just kind of bide my time. And we're starting to get involved with some sort of like secrets. Like there's something going on. There's some weird stuff with some of the monks that are here, and I'm just really liking this. This feels a little gloomy, so it's kind of nice for fall, especially on those like gloomy days. It feels a little bit dark academia, and I think part of that has to do with like the monastery vibes are very dark academia. I really like the writing. It's very beautiful and evocative without me like falling all over it and like not being able to make sense of it. Like I'm not getting tripped up by the language. I think it's just doing just enough. I like the prevalence of magic while also having the mystery of the magic. So it's being talked about a lot. It's not being like breadcrumbed throughout the book until like one big finale when suddenly like a bunch of magic happens. It's like magic is being used, and I really enjoy magic in fantasy books, and so I like that we're learning a little bit about it. We're learning about some dark things of magic, and I think our character is very, I wouldn't say he's unlikable, but he's definitely not like your perfect knight hero coming to save the day. Like he has some issues, and it's kind of like there are some things that are hard to root for him in. He is basically like lying to a bunch of people, and we don't know if it's for good or bad reasons per se. So I just think that this is like so fun. And I'm really excited to learn more about like the book and like the cartographer magic, because I think that's really interesting and something I haven't seen before. And because it's a duology, it's nice because I feel like I can sink deeper into this world because it'll be long enough, but I'm not having to commit to a super long series. So I'm really excited about that. I just can't wait to see where this goes. This is my main read right now. And then I'm dipping in and out of another book that I'm reading because it's for another vlog. I'm farther into this than this says because I've been reading it on ebook sometimes before bed. I'm reading this for another video, so I'm not going to like tell you a lot about it, but I am making progress in it. So it's just slow progress. I'm not sure how I feel about this yet. Sometimes I love it. Sometimes I'm really bored by it. And I'll just tell you more in a vlog when I finally finish this book and the other book that needs to be read for the vlog. So I've been working on this vlog a long time. But I am slowly making my way through this. I'm about 20% of the way through this one as well. So probably around like the 100-page mark or so. So that's my update. I would love to finish this off before this vlog ends. I'm ending the vlogs on Tuesdays, starting the new vlog on Wednesdays, and I have like a whole new way I'm going to be like choosing what I read for each week. So it'd be kind of nice to finish this off Tuesday and then be able to pick a new book like right away to open the new vlog. So that's what I'm going to be pushing for. I have about 400 pages left or so and 2.5 days to read it in. So we'll see if I can actually do that, but I am going to sit down, kind of focus. It's only 2 p.m. on Sunday. I don't have any other plans really. My husband's going to make clam chowder, which is like homemade clam chowder, which I'm so excited for. And just gonna rest. We went out yesterday, and I'll put in some footage, which you'll see after this clip. We went mushroom hunting out near Mount Hood, and that was really fun. Some of his coworkers came with us, and one of them is like the mushroom expert. She's still kind of new at like the actual foraging, but we're all learning together. She just has like a leg up on like the identification of them. So we did get one mushroom that we were sure of, and so we got to eat that this morning. You still only ever eat a little bit of it when you're getting it, because if you are wrong, you don't want to like eat a bunch of it. So we just had a little bit of it this morning. So far, neither of us have gotten sick, so that's good. It was one of those mushrooms that like doesn't have a lot of other mushrooms that look like it. It's very like unique in shape, and especially in the area, there aren't really any other mushrooms that look like it, so it's a little easier to kind of identify. So it was delicious. He just like sliced it thinly and then like sauteed it with butter and put a little salt on it, and it was like such a good mushroom and so fun that we just like found it in the woods. So we did that, and it was just a really good time. But we came home and we were so exhausted because we were out there like for about 6 hours, like foraging and then doing a little hike. So we were definitely like sore and tired after that. And it's still lingering a little bit today. I'm definitely still very sore and a little bit tired. So I'm going to try to sit down and read. I think I'm going to watch a little bit of Love is Blind and then like read a little bit and then watch a little bit just to like keep me awake, because I feel like if I try to sit down and read, I'm going to fall asleep. So I'm going to read this. It would be nice to get like 100 pages of it. I am going to take a bath because my legs are still sore, so I figure sitting in a hot bath would be really nice. So I'm going to say my soft goal, it'd be like 90 pages, would be chapter 13. I've read 6 chapters. That would be reading like 7 chapters. I feel like that could be doable. So especially because we're like getting into the meat of the book, we're doing less introductory. So I think the speed will pick up a little bit. So I'm excited to do that, but we're going to go put this on the stack of books that I've read for the month, and we'll be leaving my collection. All right, there it is. 5 down so far. It's Tuesday. I just wanted to give you an update before I head into work, because it is the last day of week 1 of Chaostober. I was working on this. I've been focusing on this the past few days, trying to read as much as I can. I am very close to the halfway point. I think I read a little bit further in last night. I was reading it on ebook before bed. So I got maybe just like 5 to 10 pages more than this. So I'm halfway. I want to read as much as I can today while I'm working. It will probably only be an hour and a half or 2 hours that I actually get to like sit down and read and like focus on reading while she's napping. But, you know, that's better than nothing. It'd be nice to get to like page 300 or 350 and then have roughly 100 pages to go or so. This is like 480 pages, 488. So like if I could read half of this today and then try to finish up half of it tomorrow, because I want to be able to pick books using my new way of doing it for week 2 as much as possible. So want to fly through this. Plus I have a lot of books still on my list that I need to get to. I've only read through technically 3 of them, so we got to keep it going. We got to keep it moving. So I'm going to really try to focus on this and read quickly and get as much done as I can today. Aiming for like 130, 150 pages today if I can. So I'll check back in with you before I kind of close out this vlog, maybe this evening, maybe tomorrow, and then I'll be starting a new one for week 2, and I have like a whole new way of picking books that'll be really fun and really chaotic. So instead of picking by goals, we're going to do something a little different. It'll be really fun. All right, I'm here to wrap up week 1 of Chaostober. So I made really good progress in Flesh and Spirit yesterday. I'm now on page 340. I have about 145 pages to go or something. Maybe doable today if I get some time to like sit and read. But I'm also kind of busy today, so maybe today, maybe tomorrow, I'll be able to finish that one up. So this was my week of spinning to see what goals I was going to complete. We finished a goal. We finished a series, which was the last series I needed to finish. I wanted to finish 10 series I started before 2025, and we did that by finishing off Demon. And then we DNF'd our big fantasy series, which means we still need to finish a fantasy series, start and finish. So I'm going to be, as I'm reading like first books in series, I'm going to keep in mind which series I might want to try to finish for that goal, because we only have 2 months left in the year. So I'm not going to make myself try to read a 7-book series in 2 months. I'm going to shrink down the goal to be something a little easier for us to actually do, because I have been trying to complete this goal all year. So we've done one, completed one goal, and now we have mass market paperback fantasies, which we're working on, books by authors I haven't tried before, but I own multiple of their books. I need to read still quite a few more of those. And then the classics, I didn't read any classics this week, finishing that fantasy series. So I believe we have 4 goals left that we need to complete. So we're going to keep doing that. For next week, I have a whole new way of picking the books that I read. So if you're interested, definitely stick around, subscribe if you want to, so you can see next week's vlog when it goes live. It'll be on the 3rd week. I'm doing a vlog every week, and I hope you'll stick around and check it out. If you're participating in Chaostober, I hope it's going very well for you, and I will see you in the next video. Bye!